Yo, what is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Marvel Spider-Man 2 video. As you can see, the date is October 20th, man, and unfortunately, it is not October 20th, 2023. The things I would do to go back to October 20th, 2023 is, man, I could probably make an entire video on the things that I would do just to go back into the time that I had to just anticipate this game the way that I had. For those who are new or returning viewers, I first of all, before I get into anything, I really want to say thank you. This last year, we've really built a phenomenal fan base here on the channel. For those who were clamoring for Marvel Spider-Man 2 content, for those who were asking for something else, because at one point this was all I was posting when it came to the What Happens When series, in terms of the QTE moments that they did have consequences for and did not have consequences for. Even just the regular web swinging videos. I think the first Marvel Spider-Man 2 video I made on this channel was a web swinging video, but I've came a very long way. We've all came a long way, and I truly just want to say thank you guys for sticking along. I am nothing without you guys. If I don't have any viewers, I don't have any likes on a video in terms of knowing what it is that you guys like, there's nothing that I can do to provide, the content that you guys enjoy. So, keep it up. I really do just want to first off start off by saying thank you. And yeah, let's get right into the video. Now, how do we talk about this game without talking about the hype, right? I mean, pretty much we went into this game knowing that Peter and Miles were going to be in this game. I don't know if you guys remember that first trailer that came out during the PlayStation Showcase, September 2021, guys. This was centuries ago, it seems like, where they first revealed Wolverine, or maybe the Spider-Man game was revealed first, and then it was Wolverine, or vice versa. But it pretty much looked like Miles and Peter were going to be teaming up. I remember everyone was thinking it was going to be co-op. There was a chance that we might have been able to, have multiplayer with our friends. You can use Miles, I can use Peter. And, hell, at the time, there was a lot of people, speculating what we did end up getting. I could use Miles, you use Peter. Maybe someone else uses Venom. We really just weren't sure how that was going to go necessarily. But at the end of the day, pretty much it was something that we really had to learn to stomach. A lot of games, they give a news blog or something, but this game we really had no news, which is the reason why when anything was revealed, it was like breaking news because we barely got any news leading up to this game. I remember one of the first pieces of news that we got for this game where everyone was like super excited was when someone in Insomniac Games said that they didn't realize that it was gameplay and not a cutscene because of the way that the graphics look. And I'm not too sure. To this day, I really want to know what they were looking at to know that, or that what they were looking at to not know that it wasn't gameplay instead of a cutscene. Because I mean, as much as this game is eye candy, this game is beautiful. I've never got tripped up thinking that I was looking at a cutscene playing this game. So, not that they were, just talking or yapping or whatever. Maybe things look a little bit differently in the studio. And then also we've been looking at this game for a year now, so maybe what looks normal to us right now was not necessarily normal to us in October 2023, especially before October, which is obviously when they were able to look at this game before we were. To finish up the hype talk for this game, I do remember when they released that they were going to have the 19 inches of Venom and the Marvel Spider-Man 2 rather, PlayStation 5. I remember wanting that PlayStation so bad. I really just wanted the controller. I never seen anything of something of my liking. Obviously, the Spider-Man PS4. It was just a big red PlayStation with the spider logo. While it is nice, it didn't touch this because obviously you add anything Venom or symbiote related, it's going to be 10 times better. So I was very excited for what it is that they had in store, especially considering the fact that we didn't have a lot of news going into this. So when we started to get news, it started to just rumble and rumble and rumble like it was falling down steps, right? Like we just had so much information given to us at once to the point where it almost seemed like we weren't able to handle it. Now, for this portion of the video, I really want to talk about story. So, as you just saw right before you is the first boss mission. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's the first boss mission after the introduction with Sandman. It's the first boss mission. However, it's also the first boss mission that we have with Symbiote Peter. And this was something that everyone was very excited for. I remember Insomniac said that they did not add the black suit Maguire or any, regular black suit in Spider-Man PS4, because they felt as though that's just not a suit that you just put on. It's a suit that you put on with the story behind it. Like, it has meaning. It's not just a random piece of cloth that Peter puts on. There's a reason why he puts it on in the first place, which is why we could not just get the symbiote suit, as a playable, suit for you to be able to enjoy. Now, I personally very much so enjoyed this, as you can see right in front of you. They added a lot of symbiote abilities here. So we have the wheel of the 4 moves that you can use, and then obviously towards the end of the game with the anti-venom, there's a lot more there for you to be able to do. I think it's about 2 or 3 additional moves that aren't here on display when you have the regular black suit. So, as cool as this was, I really did enjoy my first playthrough with this game. I was just, so excited. I was so hyped for, what it was that they had in store. You were definitely able to realize that something was up with Peter, and some of the things that he was doing, he said, it wasn't him. It wasn't necessarily something that he was doing. And I remember just like thinking like, are they going to be safe with this symbiote, or are they going to go all the way? And to a certain extent, they definitely did play it a little bit more safer than I potentially would have. However, time constraints and, deadlines might have forced their hands to be able to not do as much as they wanted to. However, the symbiote definitely does evolve in this game. That was one of the things that I was hoping it would do. As we saw in one of the trailers, a lot of people had speculated, and we were correct, that Peter falls asleep in one of these missions, as he does in the comics and as he did in Spectacular Spider-Man. So pretty much Harry saves Peter from dying. He gives him his symbiote, and as he gives him the symbiote is when Peter is able to feel as though that he is now at his, he feels like he's the final boss. In this game, for storyline purposes, I don't believe that Insomniac hates Peter. A lot of people feel like Insomniac doesn't like Peter for some strange reason. For storyline reasons, Peter definitely does get nerfed in this game. I'm not going to act like I did not play this game. I'm not going to act like I don't know what went on here. Peter did get nerfed to a certain extent in this game. However, it was only because they wanted to show that the symbiote was such an attachment for him, because there were certain things that he just was not able to do when he was just, regular old Peter Parker. And, a lot of the things that happened in this game that a lot of people weren't super duper happy about was that Miles was the one to save him from a lot of his, what would have been failures. And honestly, he saved his ass in terms of him almost dying a few times in this game. So pretty much while Peter has the symbiote, he starts to, not really pay attention to Miles. Miles is already having his own arc, knowing that he has to face his father's killer at some point. He did not want to let that go. He honestly thought that vengeance was his. And, as he finally gets captured by Craven is when Peter goes batshit. He gets very upset. And he's like, where is Spider-Man? Like, where in the hell is Miles? Because he was very upset about it. He wanted to know where he was at. And previous to that is obviously when Miles essentially whooped Martin Lee's ass, and he pretty much sent him out there to find Peter so that he can let him know where he was going to be. Peter pretty much went batshit here. He fights Craven, and this is when we start to get the best of this story, in my opinion. This is when the boss battles start to stack up. We get the Peter versus Craven, which is my favorite one, definitely the most hardest one in the game. And then right after that leads to the Miles versus Peter boss battle, because Craven is essentially about to get killed by symbiote Peter. We are about to lose Peter at this situation. And without Miles, helping out Peter and getting him to realize that you don't need the symbiote to be a better Spider-Man. He said, I know you're hurting people, but you're better than this. Peter said, yeah, I know, but no. Like, he didn't want to accept it because he didn't want to take it off because of what he felt like it was doing for him and obviously the rest of New York. On my first playthrough of this game, I will never forget when I saw press square to attack. I genuinely did not think that they were going to do it, but Insomniac pulled this shit off wonderfully. I literally remember when it said push square to attack, I paused the game, I dropped my controller, I said no the fuck they didn't. I couldn't believe it. I was like, there's no way we're using a real Venom that looks this good. He's massive, man. Like, I was like, this is fucking crazy, because you have to realize We went from facing Martin Lee with Miles to facing Craven with Peter to facing Peter with Miles to then using Venom. I was this was the peak of this game. This game went on it's easily about an hour or maybe like a 2 hour stretch where this game just it really reached its peak. And essentially after this Venom, Terror on Oscorp is when we end up facing Craven. And it was another boss battle. And a lot of people felt like this was rushed. I really didn't feel like this was rushed. I felt like this was Insomniac emptying the clip on us. Like it was this is when I was like, holy shit, like they really are going all out on this game. And for demanding reasons and holiday sales, I'm pretty sure that there might have been some more in this game in terms of maybe breakaway environments that we might have been able to use. Like I remember when they first released that first screenshot of Venom, when Miles and Peter were chasing him through the city, and then we had the trailer the week or like October 1st. It was on a Monday Night Football where it was like Peter and Miles fighting him in the city in the daytime. I'm pretty sure some of those things might have got cut out, but with what they did give us with Venom, I was definitely satisfied, but I did just want more Venom. I felt like we did get shortchanged to a certain extent. Now, after this is when we end up using MJ. MJ was OP in this game. I don't think that she needed to be this OP, however, but I didn't mind. It was like people were, moaning and complaining, saying that the MJ missions were boring, which in my opinion, I just really didn't really agree. But they stepped up the MJ missions here, especially the one where she's running from Peter because she's essentially about to die. That's when the symbiote, obviously took over Peter because he was sleeping. However, I really didn't mind the MJ missions this game. I felt like it was pretty warranted for the time that we're in terms of using other players in this game. We used Venom for crying out loud, and then we ended up using MJ towards the end. Coming to a close here is where we finally have Miles be able to interact with, Venom himself as well, which was also very fun because Miles, in my opinion, for some reason, it's just the electric abilities that he has. It kind of makes you feel like the game is a lot more. I don't know. He seems OP to the point where the game honestly feels like it's a lot easier. So I don't know. I really enjoyed the boss battle with Venom. I did, as soon as they released New Game Plus, used Red Suit Peter to face Venom. Whether I used the Spider-Man with the Raimi outfit or just the classic red suit. I just wanted to be able to feel that classic regular, Spider-Man versus Venom fight. I really enjoyed that for what it was. All in all, towards the end of this game, it leads to Miles being able to bring Harry back to life. For those who do and do not remember, Norman just told them to bring my boy back alive. And while they did do that, since he was, somewhat, out of it, Norman was upset. And I don't really understand why the discourse about this was so mad last year. Pretty much I felt as though that people were not paying attention or have paid attention to any Norman Osborn content over the years, whether that's a comic book or, hell, even if it is in the regular movies or shows. Norman is never satisfied. Nothing can ever fulfill his needs. If Harry wasn't jumping and, happy and clapping for joy, it just wasn't going to be good enough for Norman, which is completely on brand for his character. And, that obviously leads to the end in the post-credit scenes of Norman talking to, Doc Ock. And that's when he says, he's writing the final chapter. So, we're going to have to wait for Marvel Spider-Man 3 to see what the final chapter definitely is, since it has been confirmed that there is no DLC coming out for this game. So, that being what it is, I still enjoyed this game for what it was. Like I said, this game brought me a joy that I did not think I was going to be able to have after this game came out. I thought that once the game came out and, that was it. It was kind of like the same thing when Spider-Man No Way Home came out. It was kind of like, the game's here and then it's gone. Or the movie's here and then it's gone. But, this game really did make me be happy to be a Spider-Man fan. I realized that I'm living in the boom of being a Spider-Man fan at this time and point. We had Marvel Spider-Man PS4. We had the Miles game. Then we have this one. Then we have Wolverine coming up. Obviously, that's not Spider-Man related, but we do have Spider-Man 3 to look forward to. And this game obviously left a lot on the table. They have the whole chameleon thing going on. They have the Cletus Cassidy, for Carnage going on. I really do think that they are going to go all out for the finale, which will be Marvel's Spider-Man 3, unless they just call it Spider-Man 3 the final chapter. And then obviously they had Silk come at the end of this game when Miles was speaking with, Rio's new boyfriend. Not really too sure how Miles feels about that necessarily. But, we're all going to see what this culminates to when Marvel Spider-Man 3 comes out. So I just want to say thank you guys once again for, listening to me on this massive Yap session. I just really enjoyed this game. I just want to say thanks to everyone who has contributed. Watch the video, like the video, share the video, watch it from time to time, or, hell, even screen recorded or anything that you might have liked in terms of an idea, or, all the laughs and, people coming in on the live streams. It really means a lot. And don't worry, there will definitely be more Marvel Spider-Man videos coming out. But for the meantime, like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out, bruh.